Anyway, going to entertainment here now. We've been talking for some time that the movie industry has been suffering regarding how the drop in ticket sales because of the restrictions of people being able to go to the movie houses to watch their films. Well, obviously, big movie studios have shifted their platforms from the traditional movie theaters going to streaming services. Well, one of the big companies or movie studios is Warner Media, who have as was reported before or from last year that they're going to transition quickly or simultaneously releasing films concurrently on movie theaters as well as in their streaming services HBO Max. Now obviously HBO Max is competing with the likes of Disney Plus. You have Peacock for NBC Universal, and you also have the giant, which is Netflix here. Now, obviously, in this article, according to CNBC, they're trying to push, or there have been reports that there is a planned Harry Potter TV series, whether you're excited or not. But obviously, if you're a Pothead fan, you're looking forward to more content on the Harry Potter universe and so forth. And actually, they're still making the Fantastic Beasts sequels, which is based on the Harry Potter universe. But obviously, creating a Harry Potter TV series is a totally different animal altogether. Now, I'm all for it in expanding the universe, but creating the right content for the audience to watch is another key here. Because similar to how Disney is trying to push you know uh, all comic characters to be published or released for film consumption as well for TV series. If it's not done right, it could turn sour right away. And it's not just that. The Star Wars franchise have taken a beating with how the direction was in the film genre, and with the exception of the Mandalorian TV series, which is doing tremendously. I've watched portions of it. I haven't seen the first season, the entire season, so looking forward to be able to watch it later on. But the question is, can they do it right? Obviously, with any TV series, if you're going to create, you have to create a long story arc. If it's going to go across multiple seasons, choosing the right character, the storyline, and so forth is critical here. And according to the article, as mentioned, the new live action Harry Potter series could be coming soon to HBO Max. Now, obviously, HBO Max, which is backed by Warner Media, is trying to push or promote their streaming services here. But as I mentioned, where is it? There you go. As I mentioned, there is some complication in terms of this can go smoothly or will it push through. Now, one of the main issues is J.K. Rowling, the one who wrote, still owns the franchise, controls the direction of the series here, whether to continue publishing more films or in this case, to create a TV series here. And also there are personal issues or backlash regarding some scrutiny according to the comments that Ms. J.K. Rowling mentioned before. But apart from that, the key here is a Harry Potter live TV TV series is necessary? Are people looking forward to watching more of Harry Potter here? Will it be based on Harry Potter? Will it be based on a different character altogether? It would be weird to see a different character or different star playing the role of Harry Potter other than Daniel Radcliffe here. But it's a tricky situation. That's why it makes much more sense to create a total different story altogether. But it's a popular series or popular franchise. They want to milk for everything that it's worth here. Now they've been in multiple conversations with potential writers, so they're still in the early stages to explore what type of story or how it's going to be presented in the general public here. And it's going to be a difficult endeavor here unless you have J.K. Rowling providing insight. At the end of the day, it's her content. She's the one who is more knowledgeable in terms of the direction and what could be the story moving forward, which arc they should follow, and so forth here. And obviously, for the company HBO Max and for Warner Brothers, their main goal here is to expand the Harry Potter and capitalize on its popularity. Now, obviously, they've created films, merchandises, and when they partner up with Warner Brothers, which also owns uh, Universal Studios. And guess what? In Universal Studios, they have one of the most popular franchises in the country in Japan, which is the Harry Potter team here. So, question is, will it push through, or will they encounter more obstacles before scrapping the idea altogether here? Now, obviously, if you're a Harry Potter fan, you are excited to see if there's a possibility of extending the story here beyond from the main characters from Harry Potter's and so forth. But obviously, NBC Universal, which inked a 7-year deal right with Warner Brothers for the rights to release the domestic TV distribution, as well as US broadcast cable, as well as streaming rights, as well as the Wizarding World franchise. Now, this will end in 2025, so it's incumbent upon them to ensure that they maximize their opportunity in terms of how to generate more revenues for their business. Now, whether this involves digital initiatives, as mentioned, whether through streaming, as well as the theme park content. And obviously, going to theme parks is a big daunting task, especially with the new lockdown that's happening in Japan. But one could hope maybe sometime even later, or even they have to wait until next year. And speaking of HBO Max, on a related story, there's been another speculation, or they're considering that one of their more popular series, which is Game of Thrones, which I've watched and I've enjoyed, but with the exception of the last season. But there were reports that they were talking about extending the franchise into an animated new series. Now, whether that's a good idea or not, again, it's the same story here. Obviously, HBO Max is trying to push their popular content here and trying to milk for what it's worth, as mentioned. Could they create the same success? Obviously, the Game of Thrones, like the Harry Potter, was successful because of the books that they were based on. And if they're going to expand on that, who's going to create the content? Right? So they need to be very careful with this one. And obviously for Game of Thrones, this is published by the popular author George R.R. Martin here. And unless he creates more books relating to, to the universe of Game of Thrones, it would be a difficult task. And, with how they ended with the last season, it just goes to show, how things can turn out poorly if they don't, do it properly. And obviously right now, it's not just the TV series that the animated series they're focusing on. They're also currently in the development of the spin-off of the House of the Dragons, which take place 300 years before the Game of Thrones series here, which is expected to debut sometime next year. So obviously, if you're a fan like I am, I'm always looking forward to it. But what type of storyline? Hopefully, it's better than what we expected or got from season 6 or season 7. What was the last season for Game of Thrones here?